everybody, this is Kohdok here, and now it's time for my first official review of 2012. Now, I know you guys have seen Dragonoid Destroyer in my 2011 video, and Dragonoid Destroyer has actually been around for a while, but it really kind of skipped my mind to review it. I know, it's awfully silly of me to skip something like this. But anyway, now I'm going to be using my 99th video in order to review it. Yep, I'm getting pretty close to 100. Anyway, Dragonoid Destroyer follows in the tradition of Bakugan like Max's Dragonoid and Dragonoid Colossus in that it's a large Dragonoid that makes up the huge set for the year. Now, Dragonoid Colossus is still a bit more grandiose than Dragonoid Destroyer, but it's also more expensive. Dragonoid Destroyer started out around $50 at Toys R Us, but it quickly dropped to $30 during the holiday season, and at most places except for Target, it's pretty much stayed there. Now, the most notable thing about Dragonoid Destroyer is, unlike Max's Dragonoid or Dragonoid Colossus, you can actually use the combined form in the game. Yeah, there's no worthless combinations, nor are there any big chunks that are absolutely worthless to the game. And this is Dragonoid Destroyer in its closed form. Now, one thing that's kind of funny that I notice about Dragonoid Destroyer is it looks kind of like Rosevine from the Dragon Quest series. Anyway, Dragonoid Destroyer comes with a Sky Raiders Bakugan, and you can actually load a second Sky Raiders Bakugan into the other shoulder slot, which actually has kind of a fun gimmick when it opens. I'm going to use Reptac here because it goes with the Fusion Dragonoid. It also has a ramp that folds down, and when I look at it this way, with this kind of gap it has in the dome up here, you can actually kind of use it as kind of a base of operations for your Bakugan during a game and use the ramp to roll it down into your opponent. Now, in order to activate Dragonoid Destroyer, you need to get this Commandex Dragonoid into the middle of it. Now, there's a hole in the top of the dome that I could use, but the advertisers use the ramp, and by guns, so will I. Dope. Dope. Da. Da. Dope. Da. Dope. Da. Da. Dope. Da. Dope. Dope. Commandex Dragonoid, the pack-in Dragonoid for Dragonoid Destroyer. Now, you'll notice it looks an awful lot like Fusion Dragonoid, and as it is, it's a lot like Fusion Dragonoid. Fusion Dragonoid without the Sky Raiders spring-loaded jumping feet, or the Baku snaps, or the peg that allows it to connect to Reptac. You know what? It doesn't even have spring-loaded elbows like Fusion Dragonoid does. This thing is, for all intents and purposes, a poor man's Fusion Dragonoid. I mean, at least Brawlicus Darak had a new kind of facial sculpt. This thing has barely any difference to it at all. Well, at least it's a halfway decent 950 Gs, and that's a bit better than a lot of the previous Dragonoids have been. If only I had a Bakugan that was of higher quality, that could stay closed and roll up the ramp all the way without busting open. We have now unleashed Dragonoid Destroyer. Or is it Dragonoid Destroyer now? I don't know. Anyway, the ramp then folds up into some chest armor to protect the Dragonoid inside. Now, the thing about Dragonoid Destroyer that makes it so appealing is that it is actually a support piece. It is considered a battle suit, and can be played onto a Pyrus Bakugan during battle, kind of like a battle gear or a trap can. Now, this thing actually by itself gives 300 Gs. It is 300 G power, and that, for support piece, is really something only my Chaos Hurrix or the like can really match, and even then, this thing doesn't have any special throwing rules like the Hurrix does. Now, it comes with a reference card, of course, in order for it to work, and the reference card is actually interesting in that you can actually use its combined form. When you play Dragonoid Destroyer for the first time, you either get a boost of 100 Gs, or you can play the air again onto a gate card, an empty gate card, for free. So it's either even more power or the equivalent of a free turn. So that makes Dragonoid Destroyer really one of the best support pieces to ever be put out ever for the game. I mean, some, like Bilantor or like Blasterate, still have abilities that can be useful, but when it comes to just sheer power, Dragonoid Destroyer just can't be beat. Anyway, at the same time, it has also gotten a little bit action figure. I mean, with the stomping feet and launching missiles. Really? Now, one thing that makes Dragonoid Destroyer unique is that it's the first set to actually come with two unique Bakugan, in this case, a Bakugan known as Aragan. Aragan is a new Sky Raider and is kind of a ninja Power Rangers-esque Bakugan. It's Aqua's and is a decent 850 Gs, so although that's not terribly good compared to a lot of things nowadays. The fact that the Dragonoid Destroyer reference card can let you play it for free, that is pretty beneficial because, you know, I mean, a free turn is a free turn. One thing that sets Aragan apart is that its parts that allow it to jump with the Skyraider action are not silver like the other ones. The other ones might have their feet or tail silver, depending on which part allows them to jump, but Aragan's are actually the same color as its body. That's actually fairly notable. You know, funny story, Aragan is actually Chaos in the show, but for some reason it's Aqua's here. Now, in order to close Dragonoid Destroyer, first, you need to remove the Bakugan that activated it, then you twist it a couple of times, that's right, bring it around town until it stops, then you close the dome, you close the arms, and you close the legs. That is how you can lock it up for next time, and after that, you can then put the Sky Raiders that you used back onto the shoulders. Another announcement that happened is that they are ending the Bakugan show. Now, a lot of people have been wondering what my opinion of that is, and what I say is, you know, I'm hoping it's just that the powers that be have realized that it's gotten as naff and stale as we know it is, so hopefully they're closing it down in the hopes of making a new reboot to follow it up, kind of Digimon Tamer style, and fulfilling one of my New Year's resolutions. Now, I think that would be really good. Now, as for... We meet again, Kohdok! Douglas, what are you doing here, you little freak? Now I will get my revenge! You shall know the true power! Why are you laughing? Stop it! Are you seriously trying to attack me while I'm holding the most powerful battlesuit ever made? Oh, but can you make it work without any of these? When did you... Oh, that won't go up the ramp, not with those weird pegs coming out of it! Well, any Baku type of work, right? How about this one? Bakugan Brawl! Kilan Leoness, stand! But that word is the wrong attribute! Not if I play the Conform ability card. Reptak is still a member of my army, so I use Conform to change Kilan Leoness to Pyrus! Destroyer Leoness! You haven't seen the last of me! Man, that was kind of close. I mean, I chased Douglas away again, but this time he has my teleporter. What am I supposed to do now that he has that? I mean, I don't know if I can handle him next time. When am I finally going to settle things with Douglas? Might I settle him in the 100th episode?
To be continued.